It's really amazing to see how artificial intelligence is just changing everything around us.
Yeah.
From, how we talk to each other to the things we buy it. AI is everywhere.
It is.
But for me, it gets really interesting when you think about how AI can completely transform healthcare.
Right.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today in this deep dive, looking at how AI can actually impact how long and how well we live.
Absolutely. And, you shared some really insightful research on this topic, a piece that really digs deep into how AI is already being used in medicine.
Yeah.
So our goal today is to kind of break down the most important points from all of that research for you.
Yeah.
We want to give you a clear understanding of this complex field without, overwhelming you with too much information.
Totally. And we should probably mention up front, we're not talking about some far-off future here.
Right.
AI is already playing a big part in how diseases are diagnosed, how treatments are being tailored to each person, how patients interact with the healthcare system, and even in discovering new drugs and performing surgeries. It's a lot to cover.
It is. It's a vast landscape.
So where should we start? I mean, the article really highlighted the potential of AI in early diagnosis, and that seems like a pretty good place to begin.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to start. The idea that AI can help us catch diseases early on holds so much promise for improving patient outcomes.
For sure.
The research you provided really emphasized how AI systems can analyze medical images like X-rays, MRIs, and CT scans.
Right.
And they do this using something called deep learning, which is basically AI that learns from huge amounts of data.
Okay.
It identifies patterns in the data, kind of like how our own brains work.
Interesting.
And what's really incredible is how accurate these systems can be, sometimes even better than humans at spotting tiny abnormalities.
Yeah, it's almost like AI has this extra sense, this ability to see things in those images that we might miss.
Right.
The article had some really powerful examples, like in cancer detection, AI is already showing amazing ability to find early-stage breast and lung cancer.
Absolutely.
And, if we can catch those cancers earlier, that could mean much better survival rates.
Exactly. That early intervention is key.
It's just mind-blowing to think that AI can see these patterns in these complex images that we might overlook, especially when those patterns are really subtle or complicated.
And a big part of that is the sheer volume of data these AI systems are trained on. They process millions of medical images, so they learn to recognize even the tiniest signs of disease.
It's like practice makes perfect for AI, too.
In a way, yes.
I was particularly struck by what the article said about Alzheimer's detection.
Yeah, that was a fascinating point.
It talked about how AI could potentially diagnose Alzheimer's through brain scans years before any noticeable symptoms even show up.
Right.
I mean, that kind of early warning could totally change how we manage the disease and maybe even slow down its progression.
And what's key here is that AI can analyze those subtle changes in brain structure and activity that might be too complex for a human to consistently identify in those early stages.
It really makes you think about the possibilities. It does.
So moving on from diagnosis, the article then goes into personalized treatment plans, which seems like a really big step forward in medicine.
It is. It's the concept of precision medicine tailoring treatment to the individual.
Exactly. And AI seems to be the driving force behind making that a reality.
It is. By analyzing a person's unique biological information,
Yeah.
Their genes, their medical history, their lifestyle, their environment,
Right.
AI can help doctors create treatments that are much more targeted and effective than a one-size-fits-all approach.
And thinking back to what we were just talking about with early diagnosis, the more precise that initial diagnosis is,
Right.
the better AI can then contribute to creating that personalized treatment plan.
Absolutely. It all connects.
The article's example about cancer treatment really highlights this. I mean, using AI to analyze the specific genetic mutations in a patient's tumor cells
Oh, yeah.
to figure out which chemotherapy drugs would work best for them.
It's incredible, isn't it? Instead of a standard treatment, it's about targeting the cancer based on its unique genetic makeup. Yeah, it's like personalized medicine in action.
Exactly. And AI's role goes even beyond just choosing the initial treatment.
Okay.
It can actually analyze tons of data to predict how a patient might respond to a specific therapy.
So they can adjust the treatment as they go along.
Exactly, allowing for real-time adjustments and optimization of the treatment plan.
Wow.
This ability to kind of anticipate a patient's reaction based on patterns identified in similar cases can lead to better outcomes.
And potentially fewer side effects.
Yes, because you're avoiding treatments that are unlikely to be effective for that specific patient.
That makes a lot of sense.
The data points considered here can include genetic markers, but also the patient's overall health profile and how similar patients have responded to various therapies in the past.
It's really taking all of that information into account.
It is. It's a holistic approach.
Now, the article also touched on something that I think is really interesting for a lot of people. The rise of virtual health assistants and chatbots powered by AI. And this isn't just about, the complex science happening in labs.
No, it's not.
It's about how AI is changing the way we interact with the healthcare system every day.
Right.
And making healthcare more accessible to everyone.
Yeah. What's really notable here is the convenience and accessibility these AI tools offer.
For sure.
They can answer common medical questions, remind you to take your medication, even offer initial support for mental well-being and general health advice.
And it's all available 24/7.
Exactly around the clock, which is huge for people in remote areas or those managing chronic conditions who need frequent support.
I can see how that would be so valuable.
It's like having a readily available resource whenever you need it.
Right. And the article talked about how these tools are becoming more common in primary care settings.
Yeah.
Imagine using a chatbot to describe your symptoms.
Right.
And then it tells you if you need to see a doctor or even gives you some basic advice on how to manage common ailments.
It's really about streamlining that initial assessment process, freeing up healthcare professionals to focus on the more complex and urgent cases.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like AI is taking care of some of the more routine tasks.
It is.
So doctors and nurses can focus on the things that require, more specialized knowledge and expertise.
Exactly. It's about AI augmenting human capabilities, not replacing them.
Right. It's a partnership.
It is.
Okay, let's move on to another really important area that maybe doesn't get as much attention but is crucial for all of us.
Okay.
Drug development. The article talks about how AI has the potential to totally revolutionize this process.
Yeah, this is where AI's ability to analyze massive amounts of data really shines.
Right.
Developing a new drug traditionally can take over a decade and cost billions of dollars.
It's a long and expensive process.
AI offers the potential to speed that up significantly and reduce those costs by helping us find promising drug candidates faster and predict how effective they'll be.
It's like having a super-powered research assistant that can sift through mountains of data at incredible speed.
Exactly. It's about leveraging computational power to navigate the complexity of biological systems.
The article mentioned AI platforms that can actually simulate how different molecules will interact with biological systems.
Oh, yeah, that's incredible.
It's like researchers can run experiments on a computer.
Right. These are called in silico experiments.
Okay.
And it allows researchers to gain insights and make predictions without having to do as much traditional lab work or animal testing in those early stages.
That's a huge leap forward.
It is. It saves a lot of time and resources.
And if drug development can happen faster,
right,
that means life-saving treatments could reach patients much sooner.
Exactly. And that's especially important when you're dealing with urgent health crises.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about something that might sound a bit like science fiction, but is actually becoming a reality.
Okay.
Robotic surgery.
Ah, yes. AI-guided robots in the operating room.
It sounds futuristic, but it's happening now.
It is. And what's really impressive is how AI's analytical abilities are being combined with the precision of these robotic systems.
Right. The article explains how these robots can analyze medical imaging data in real time.
So while the surgery is happening.
Exactly. Providing surgeons with enhanced visual information and guidance during complex procedures.
It's like giving surgeons an extra set of eyes and hands.
It is. And this increased accuracy can lead to better outcomes for patients, less invasive procedures, more precise interventions.
The article specifically mentioned the Da Vinci surgical system as a great example of this technology in action.
Yeah, it's a remarkable system.
It's amazing to think that minimally invasive surgeries can be performed with such precision.
It is.
And that can mean shorter recovery, times fewer complications, smaller incisions for patients.
Absolutely. Those are real, tangible benefits for anyone undergoing surgery.
And AI's role in the operating room isn't limited to just guiding the instruments.
Right.
These systems can also constantly monitor a patient's vital signs throughout the surgery.
Yeah, providing an extra layer of safety.
It's like having an AI watchdog making sure everything is okay. Exactly. The AI can detect subtle changes in the patient's condition that the surgical team might not immediately notice.
So they can intervene quickly if needed.
Exactly. It's all about enhancing safety and improving outcomes.
I'm really curious about where all of this is headed. The future of AI in healthcare.
Well, the article paints a pretty exciting picture.
Yeah, it feels like we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
We are. As AI technology continues to advance, we can expect even more sophisticated and integrated applications in healthcare.
Like what kind of things?
We'll think about the potential for AI to play a bigger role in managing chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease
Okay.
through continuous monitoring and real-time analysis of patient data.
That's interesting.
Imagine AI acting as your personalized health coach, constantly analyzing your data and giving you proactive advice to help you manage your condition and prevent complications.
Wow, that would be amazing.
It would be a game changer.
The article also talked about how AI could be integrated with wearable health technologies.
Oh, yeah. That's a fascinating area.
You know, our smartwatches and fitness trackers could become even more powerful,
Right.
constantly feeding data to AI systems that can then warn us about potential health problems early on,
Exactly. It's about moving towards a more proactive approach to healthcare.
where we're catching things before they become serious issues.
Exactly. And that's the ultimate goal, isn't it?
It is. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what are the key takeaways about AI and healthcare that we should really remember?
Well, I think the article really highlights AI as a transformative force in healthcare.
Okay.
It's driving faster and more accurate diagnoses, the development of personalized treatments, increased access to healthcare services through virtual platforms.
And all of this has the potential to improve patient outcomes and make the entire healthcare system more efficient and effective.
Absolutely. And while we're still in the early stages of integrating AI into healthcare, the direction we're headed is clear.
Right. It's not just a theoretical concept anymore. AI is already changing how medicine is practiced today.
And it's important for you, the listener, to understand these developments, not just from a technological standpoint, but also in terms of how they might affect your own health and well-being in the future.
That's a really great point. It really makes you think about how technology and AI are becoming more and more intertwined with our personal health journeys.
Exactly.
It's not just about going to the doctor anymore. It's about integrating these intelligent tools into all aspects of our healthcare.
It is.
And it'll be fascinating to see how this all continues to evolve.
Absolutely. It's an exciting time to be following these advancements.
It really is.